First up is Reanimal, and this is easily one of the most anticipated co-op games of the year. I actually already played it and I loved every second of it. So Reanimal is a co-op horror adventure and the same developers behind the Little Nightmare series. So if you play those games before, you probably recognize the art style immediately. Everything feels unsettling without relying on constant jump scares. Instead, it's the atmosphere that keeps you on edge. You and another player take on the roles of two siblings searching for their missing friends while trying to escape an island filled with disturbing creatures and twisted environments. Throughout the game, you'll solve environmental puzzles, sneak past monsters, climb through abandoned areas, and work together to survive. One thing I really did enjoy when I played was how much teamwork actually matters. You can't just run off on your own because the game constantly encourages both players to stick together and solve the problems as a team. It's so gorgeous, but in a creepy way. And every area tells its own story. And I found myself constantly looking around, taking all the little details. Next up we have is Subnautica 2. This is probably another one of the biggest multiplayer releases this year. So unlike the original games where you explore alone, Subnautica 2 introduces online co-op, meaning you'll finally be able to experience an alien ocean with your friends. The game drops you into a completely new planet filled with strange underwater creatures, massive biomes, hidden caves, and resources to discover. Just like the previous games, you'll spend your time gathering materials, crafting equipment, upgrading vehicles, and building your own underwater base. But now you'll be able to divide tasks with your friends. One person can gather the resources while another can expand the base or explore deeper areas of the ocean. Of course, it wouldn't be Subnautica without terrifying sea creatures. Exploring unknown waters is still going to be risky, especially once you start reaching deeper biomes where large predators begin appearing. One thing I'm really excited about it is that you get to discover everything together rather than alone and experiencing those moments together. If you ever seen The Maze Runner, then Mazebound probably catch your attention immediately. This is exactly why I'm so excited for this game. This is a survival co-op game and it throws you and your friends into a massive maze where your goal is simple. Find a way out before whatever is hunting you finds you first. The maze isn't just a few hallways, it's constantly changing, forcing players to communicate, explore carefully, and remember important landmarks. As you search for an escape, you'll collect resources, solve puzzles, unlock new paths, and avoid creatures lurking throughout the maze. Everyone has to work together, share information, and figure out where to go to next. The environments look dark and mysterious, creating this constant feeling that something could be around the next corner. I think this is going to be potentially one of those games that's just as entertaining to watch as it is to play. Now, switching over to something a little bit more cozier, we have Moonlight Peaks. And I recently played the demo for this one, and it's honestly already one of my most favorite games. Moonlight Peaks is a life simulation game where you play as a vampire moving into a magical town filled with witches, werewolves, ghosts, and other supernatural neighbors. You spend your time decorating your home, growing magical crops, crafting furniture, building friendships with the town people, completing quests, and uncovering the secrets hidden throughout the town. One thing that really stands out is the atmosphere. Instead of the bright sunny farms, everything takes place under beautiful nighttime skies with glowing lanterns, cozy forests, and a slightly gothic aesthetic that still manages to somehow feel relaxing. Next, we have is Hela. This game is absolutely beautiful. Instead of playing as a human, you and your friends play as tiny mice exploring a massive world inspired by the Scandinavian landscapes and folklore. Everything around you feels enormous because you're so small. Ordinary objects become obstacles, forests feel gigantic, and every area is filled with puzzles, hidden paths, and collectibles waiting to be discovered. The game focuses heavily on exploration and teamwork. Players work together to solve environmental puzzles, use different abilities, interact with wildlife, and help restore the world around them. Honestly, visually, this might be one of the prettiest games on the list. The environment is colorful, detailed, and packed with little moments that make the world feel even more so alive. Next up, we have is Water Me and You. In this game, one player controls a tiny plant while the other controls a little water droplet. Since both characters have completely different abilities, you have to rely on each other to solve puzzles and continue moving through each level. The plant can climb, grow, and interact with the parts of the environment, while the water droplet helps nourish plants, activate objects, and help reach places the plant can't. As you progress, you unlock new mechanics that make puzzles more challenging, requiring even more teamwork and communication. Visually, it's absolutely adorable. It's colorful, relaxing, flowers, forests, streams, and little details to make everything feel alive. I also like that it's not focused on combat. Instead, it's all about working together, exploring, and figuring out how each character's abilities fit together. This is called Outbound, and this is one of the coziest survival games that I've seen in a long time. Instead of building a traditional base, your home is actually a camper van. Throughout the game, you'll travel across beautiful open landscapes while slowly transforming your van into the ultimate mobile home. You'll gather resources, craft furniture and upgrades, generate your own power using things like solar panels and wind turbines, and customize both the inside and the outside of your camper. What's really cool is that your vehicle isn't just transportation, but it's also your base. As you explore, you'll constantly be improving, adding new features, and making it feel more like a home. In multiplayer, everyone can work together by collecting resources, building upgrades, exploring new areas, and deciding where you should travel next. The world itself looks honestly incredibly peaceful. The forests, mountains, lakes, and lots of quiet places to stop and take in the scenery. I also like the survival mechanics don't seem overly stressful. It's more about exploring, creating a comfortable home on wheels, and enjoying the journey rather than constantly worrying about enemies. This is called the Ranchers. So this game takes farming and life simulation and expands to a much larger open world. You'll be able to build your own ranch, raise animals, grow crops, decorate your property, fish, mine, complete quests, and even explore nearby towns filled with different NPCs. What's nice is that it's not how much freedom you have. Instead of staying on a single farm, you'll actually be able to drive around the world, discover new locations, and continue expanding your ranch however you want. Multiplayer lets you and your friends build together, divide the responsibilities, and create your own ranching community. One player might focus on crops, while someone else might take care of the animals, and another can head down to town to gather supplies or complete quests. There's also a surprisingly deep building system, allowing you to customize your home, barns, and the overall layout of your property. It's like taking inspiration from several popular farming games while adding its own larger open world twist. Next up is called Lost Skies. And so instead of exploring one giant map, you'll travel between floating islands high above the clouds using a fully customizable airship. Throughout your adventure, you'll gather resources, build equipment, solve environmental puzzles, and uncover the ancient ruins scattered across the skies. Your airship becomes incredibly important because it's both your transportation and your base. In multiplayer, everyone works together to maintain the ship, explore new islands, fight enemies, and discover the hidden treasures. The movement also looks really fun. You'll be able to glide through the air, climb structures, and use different tools to reach places that seem impossible. The environments are absolutely stunning too, so every floating island has its own unique look, making exploration feel even more rewarding. Number 10 we have is Sqwad. Now this game is absolutely chaotic. You and your friends play as friends, completing missions, battling enemies, collecting gear, and causing as much mayhem as possible. Everything feels lighthearted, the movement's fast, combat looks hilarious, and there's lots of emphasis on teamwork while still creating those funny moments where everything goes completely wrong. Each frog can use different weapons and abilities, so your team can experiment with different playstyles depending on the mission. The art style is absolutely colorful and it makes it feel very approachable. There's plenty of action happening, but it never loses its playful personality. Next up is Bombanana. At first, it looks bright, colorful, and kind of silly. Once you understand how it works, things get really interesting. It's built around communication, or at least the lack of it. Each player has different limitations. One person's blind, deaf, and the other is mute, which means nobody has access to the same information. The only way to complete objectives and successfully defuse the bombs is by figuring out how to communicate with one another despite those limitations. That means everybody has an important role and everyone has to work together to solve the puzzles before times run out. Next up is Escape Simulator 2. If you ever join escape rooms in real life, you probably know why so many people are excited about this. Escape Simulator builds everything that made the original game so popular while making the rooms much larger, detailed, and more interactive. You can search for clues, solve puzzles, unlock hidden compartments, and slowly piece everything together until you finally escape. The best part is that every player can be working on something different at the same time. While one person could be searching for hidden objects, someone else might already be solving another puzzle across the room. The constant teamwork keeps everyone involved instead of having one person do all the work. Now we have Grounded 2. The original Grounded was one of the biggest survival co-op games recently, and now the sequel is even bigger. So just like before, you and your friends are shrunk down to the size of insects, dropped into a massive world where everyday objects suddenly become enormous obstacles. You'll gather resources, craft tools, build bases, fight insects, and slowly unlock better equipment that allows you to explore even more dangerous areas. One thing that's always liked about Grounded is that the environment itself constantly feels alive. You're never really at the top of the food chain because there's always another bug that's bigger than you. Grounded 2 expands on that formula with new creatures, involved combat, larger environments, even more ways to customize your base. Next up is Delivery Pals. This looks like complete chaos in the best possible way. The goal is simple. You and your friends deliver packages. But of course, nothing can ever go according to plan. You work together to transport oversized deliveries through obstacle-filled environments, while physics constantly try to ruin everything you're doing. Packages fall over, vehicles flip, players accidentally knock each other around, and somehow every delivery turns into complete chaos. I already know it's gonna be one of those games where you spend more time laughing than actually completing the objective. And the last one on this list is called Wildgate. This one's co-op into space and mixes exploration, teamwork, and ship-to-ship combat. Instead of exploring on the foot the entire time, you and your crew travel together aboard a customizable spaceship. You'll gather resources, upgrade your ship, complete missions, explore different sectors of space, and prepare for encounters with rival crews. One thing that mainly stands out is how important teamwork is. Some players might focus on piloting, while others repair the damage, manage resources, or defend the ship during the combat. Every role contributes to keeping your crew alive.